David, we're in the Walmart parking lot right now. Let me tell you, these cars just got completely pummeled. We're seeing a lot of this. The entire back or front windshields of cars just completely blown out by the hail with glass everywhere. And if you walk with me this way, you can see that Walmart has closed its doors for the day. Listen to what happened. You can see employees, they're out here telling customers, hey, turn away. We have a major mess to clean up. So all of a sudden, hail started coming through the skylights of the roof at this Walmart, causing glass to fall from the ceiling. Luckily, customers came out here and told us no one was hurt, but definitely a scary couple of moments. We talked to an employee inside the Walmart who tells us what it sounded like when this happened. What did it sound like when it came through?
Oh, it was horrible. You know, like somebody was beating on the roof with a sledgehammer, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it sounded like. Her car got damaged, too.
We don't know when this Walmart will be reopened, but we're told employees are inside cleaning up. Earl, who you heard from, also said his car was damaged. We watched as a tow truck took it away. We spoke with some of the tow trucks coming through. They tell us they are getting so many calls. I want to go now to WRAL's Sloan Heffernan, who's in Zebulon right now.
So this is what brought us here. I posted on Facebook asking for tips to prevent the cold and flu. And over again, people said elderberry.
A majority of the police presence seems to be surrounding this area over here, the Overtime Sports Pub. And I want to pull up some video now so you can get a little bit of a closer look. All we've learned so far from the Raleigh Police Department is that an officer...
Catherine, you are now going to be able to send text messages with pictures and videos right to the computers of 911 operators. This is going to give first responders and those operators a better idea of where exactly you are. North Carolina's Attorney General has decided to take on something most of us deal with every day. Right here on our cell phones. They're annoying, they're constant, and they're interrupting. Robocalls.
Jeff, Carolina fans say beating Duke once was great. Beating Duke twice is a major reason to celebrate. It was so much fun to be out here. In fact, take a look at Franklin Street now. The fire department was here. They did not have to put out any fires, which is the good news. I'm joined now by Carolina fans who are so excited. Guys, this is my first UNC Duke game. How long are you guys going to be partying? You've been at it forever. All night long! There we go.
Well, parents are finally able to come here and pick up their kids. They tell us they got a call saying, hey, you've got to come get your kids. And here's why. When they got here, this is what they saw. Police tape, police officers talk about a shooting. And here's what we've learned. This is the notice they got on their phones. Residents got this sent as a text message earlier today. Mandatory evacuation. Let me set the scene for you so I can kind of show you where exactly we are. So you can see this light over here, and then there's a line of trees. Well, behind that line of trees is actually the river, and we ran into a group of neighbors having a conversation. Oh, if you guys will check this out over here, we can see three officers here asking people to evacuate over here. So they're coming through the neighborhood. It sounds like, I'm going to try and give you a listen of what they're saying. Take a listen.
Tomorrow by 3 p.m. It'll also flood everyone.
So they're saying, everyone, please evacuate by tomorrow at 3 p.m. We've got 1, 2, 3 Fayetteville police officer cars coming out here asking people to evacuate. Earlier, I ran into a group of neighbors having this very conversation. Do we stay or do we go? And we ran into Jason over here. Jason, you mentioned before your house. I mean, your house is right here. The river is right here. What are your thoughts?
Right. Well, the river is about 1,600 feet that way.
But I can tell you, I covered a story not too long ago over here on Glenwood Avenue where a woman got caught in some flash flooding. She had to climb on top of her car and get rescued. Now, here's how you know businesses in this area have dealt with this before. We are over at the Bank of America. Check these out. These are flood planks. Pretty neat. So they've set these all up. A lot of the other businesses have sandbags near them. I had no idea that this is what we would find. This is a tree that fell into the back of a house. It almost looks like it's sliced open this back half of the home here. David, Deborah, this is an area that's one of those flooding hot spots in Raleigh. We're really familiar with this area. I want you to take a look behind me. You can see the water continue to rise on Gideon Creek Way. We're pretty familiar with this area because there's a dialysis center up the hill. So we've had complaints before when there's been heavy rains or flash flooding in this area from family members trying to pick up patients at the dialysis center, and they couldn't get up there. So
you've had a full day of bluegrass, Kasey.
I I sure have, and it's been so much fun. I am learning so much too. People just come up to me and kind of tell me a little bit about what's going on and give me the history of the band. So it's a big lesson, and I'm becoming a fan. I'm like all on board for bluegrass now.
I'm looking.
In just a few days, this empty space will be filled with people. In fact, this is what this exact space looked like last year during the teachers' rally. Drivers all over the triangle accuse Mems of throwing on her hazards.
Then they say she puts her car in reverse. Then she gets out of her car, and drivers tell us she starts recording them here on her cell phone.
It's tough, Gerald. The ACT is a test that takes about 3.5 hours to complete, and that's 3.5 hours that about 440 students here at Pinecrest High School will never get back. Gerald, Deborah, the driver drove from Old Lewisburg Road right here to where crews were repairing this water main break. There were 3 crew members standing right here. We all began shouting at the woman driving, to turn around. This road is closed. Luckily, this is about the extent of the damage. You can see that she drove over this ladder. Her car is over here, and then over here I can show you she ran over our light stand over here, but luckily the people out here are safe. The police officers took her on the other side of this van here. I want to pull up some video now. She was taken into a police car and arrested.
In this case, the money isn't fake. They're smaller bills that have been washed. Yep, washed, like right here in the washing machine. Police tell us they take these smaller bills and throw them right in. Then they dry it, grab it here from the dryer, crinkle it up, and pass it off as a larger bill.
Ken, we're in Chapel Hill right now where you can see a lot of people walking around. There's a lot of activity, but you can still tell that there are signs of a storm coming. Take a look at this sign here. It says hot chocolate. You know we've got it. The state of North Carolina also getting ready. Governor Cooper, of course, holding this press conference earlier today, saying that the National Guard has been activated. There's an emergency command center that's been set up. And, of course, the state of North Carolina in a state of emergency. So let me break down some of those preparations for you. As soon as motion is detected on someone's porch or at their home, the Ring camera is activated and starts recording. A Hope Mills family credits it with helping get their stolen Christmas gifts back. North Carolina plans to be one of the first states to regulate the CBD industry. They're working on the laws now, likely to be finished by the end of the year. So have you tried it? We want to know. The discussion continues over on our WRAL Facebook page. Zach's next step is to start getting mobility back in his arms and his legs, and to start to try to talk again. His family isn't sure when he'll be back at home for good, but they are confident he's going to make a full recovery. In Roanoke Rapids, Kasey Cunningham, WRAL News.